What's good, YouTube? What did you two just do?
I went EXO day 1 in Swiss, and we both topped with the same deck, but I went EXO day 1, and then day 2, I won 1, lost 1, because whatever, and then he lost top 32, I lost in top 16. The way I lost top 16 was actually really unfortunate. Like, game 2, he had Fog King'd me, and I had to draw one of 14 cards, 4 turns in a row. I set myself up to, do that, and then if I did, I just won, because then I just Monarch him, and then set up Erebus Stormforth, and he loses, but then I didn't draw that, and then game 3, I opened double MST, Lazuli Brilliant, Prime, and I only sided in two MSTs anyways, because I was just he sided in a bunch of cards, so I assume he sided in some type of Spell Trap Floodgate, so I'm might as well have 2 in my deck, so I have some out if he does, and I drew both of them. So it was really unfortunate.
Top 32, I bricked.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That happened to me.
Let's go ahead and get into the deck.
Yeah. Basically, every game we could play out. Okay,
every game we could play, we won. It wasn't close.
Yeah, every single game I played, I won. That's not even an exaggeration.
Yeah.
That is what happened this weekend.
If I resolved the Monarch effect, I basically won that game.
Okay, 3 Aether, obviously. 3 Karaz. This is really, really important. Most people don't know how important this is. I would run 4 Karaz before I cut 1. You go through a lot in the mirror especially, but you usually use 2 to go through your stuff, and it's a 1 tribute that unbricks you. It gets you further into your deck, and that's the most important thing with this deck. And so opening him isn't bad because it's a 1 tribute that draws cards, which is just, you want to draw a bunch of cards. You want to add more stuff to your card count. 2 Erebus, because he's really good, but you don't want to clog too much with 2 tributes, and once you have him, you have multiples of him, you can just keep recycling him, so you don't need more than 3. Or more than two. You don't need 3, because you don't want to draw too many. One of the bricks, sorry, I'm stumbling on my words. One of the ways you brick with this deck is that you draw too many Monarchs. So we want to have the most amount of Monarchs we can while also minimizing that problem. So that's why. 2 Mithra and 2 Aedea, 1 Eidos. This is definitely the best ratio because Eidos is really good to have in your deck, because the idea of Eidos play is insane, and you need to be able to do that in this deck. If your opponent has it in their deck and you don't, you basically just lose. So you need it, but you never want to draw him really. Besides when you have Brilliant, so you can just have these 2 in the grave turn 1. So by having 2 of these, this and Foolish, which I played, you'll see later, you basically have 4 Eidos, 4 ways to access Eidos. And then only have to play 1 to draw. The only time drawing him is bad is when you draw Aedea, Eidos, and then that's the only way to unbrick your hand, so you can't use Aedea. And then 2 Mithra, because opening it is insane, and then once you use Eidos, you can just get the Mithras. I wouldn't play 3 because you don't want them to clog at all. You just want to open 1 of them, and it's really good against BA too, obviously. You get to tribute twice, which is always good. 2 red layers. These are insane. It's a level 5. It's also tribute fodder and a tribute monster for return, so it's just definitely one of the best cards. We didn't play blue layer because blue layer and E-Tail are basically bricks. If E-Tail was at 3, you would probably play it, but you just want him in your opening hand most of the time, but you never want to see 2, because if you have 2, once you have monsters on the board, then he kind of sucks. So you want 1 to be able to access the plays, but then you play the second one, so then if you do get to the situation where it's a grindy late game, then you do have a second one to keep cycling them, but you don't want to clog these in your opening hand and not be able to play. And then 1 Lazuli, 1 Jack's Knight for Brilliant. Jackson, having the Jack's Knight is really important as a card, because I know you can brick by opening this, and it's kind of, people say it's another Garnet, but the hands that it will unbrick you is way more than the hands that drawing it will brick you. I've Stormforth return, I activate return, Stormforth, tribute for Jack's Knight, add Aether, and that wins me the game.
So why Jack's Knight over Witch?
I got this one. So the reason people played Witch was to play around Rivalry, because it's a fairy, Strav Knight's a fairy, Prime Monarch's a fairy, and you can go into Tyrus with it, and then you can tribute Dark Witch over Strav Knight, then tribute Aether over it because it's a tribute monster. But then Aether can still only get fairies from your deck, so you can't actually out Rivalry. With Jax Knight or with Dark Witch, it doesn't actually matter. Jax Knight just does like more attack. You can actually tribute set the Jax Knight over your Seraph Knight. Now you have no attribute, and you can play Karaz or Erebus over your tribute set card. So it doesn't actually matter if it's Jax Knight or Dark Witch. Like, the situations where you'll actually need to summon it face up are so rare because you can just set it and then Rivalry gets turned off anyway, that it's just Jax Knight has more attack.
Yeah.
Like, it attacks over Leviair, I guess, and Dark Witch doesn't. Like, that's why.
That is kind of big.
Like, so basically there's no difference in regards to Rivalry, so might as well play the one with more attack. And then 2 Maxi, our deck was 38 cards, and I just wanted to, like, play something that was good that could, like, help me on brick. And, like, in the mirror, this is guaranteed to replace itself, if not get a +1 if you play it right. So, and it can, like, gets you more cards. And we expect a lot of BA, so, it's really good against BA. And it's not bad against Cosmo either if they're playing Fire King. Otherwise, it's going to get you a card probably eventually. And Pendulum, if they're playing, Trapless, it's not bad against them. It's basically just not bad against anything, like, replaces itself immediately. And, yeah, it's just, like, we needed 2 more cards. And these were, I definitely don't regret this at all. BA was I played 4 BA in Swiss. Then Spell is 3 Brilliant, obviously. This card's insane. 3 Pantheism, 3 Tenacity, 3 Stormforth, 3 Return. I would never play less than 3, and I would never side one out. You want to see this card in every single one of your opening hands. It's insane. 1 Domain. Basically, once you have one of these in your deck, you have just like a bunch of searchable tribute monsters because you have 3 Tenacity plus the Domain plus Pantheism for Tenacity for Domain. So once you put the 1 in your deck, it just gives you basically like at least 7 more tribute monsters just that's searchable. So it's kind of free to play.
Like,
or tribute fodder is what I meant to say. Yeah. Sorry, tribute fodder. Yeah. Foolish Burial. This card's really good because, like I said, you want to always have a Monarch in your hand to activate Tenacity and just like be able to play, but you don't want to draw too many of them because then you can just brick with just a bunch of these and just like nothing to do. So Foolish Burial is really cool because it acts as the 3rd Erebus. Yeah. So we are playing 9 Monarchs basically. What also acts as one of the Eidoses, it acts as Idea to get back Pantheism. So if you Pantheism, it's just another Pantheism. And, I mean, you can even do cool stuff like, Foolish Red Layer and then summon Red Layer and have them looping. Like, it just has a lot of versatility. And it makes it so, like I said, solving the Monarch problem where we have 9 Monarchs, but, like, this one doesn't have to be a Monarch.
Yeah.
And then 1 Upstart, and then 3 Primes. Yeah, anyone that plays less than 3 is bad. You need 2 on the field, or 2 in, Monster Zone, 1 on the field in the mirror so you don't run out of spells. And then against Cosmo, if 1 gets mojoed, you need them in your decks. So
definitely,
that's really important. Here's 4. I'll do the extra deck first. Seraphonite, 2 Pleiades, 1 Durandal, 1 Magnaliger, 2 Volcasaurus. This is something we literally put in last minute.
Yeah.
It's when you resolve.
It came up.
Yeah, it did.
It came up.
I agree. And it's not because like you will ever resolve to. It's because normally when you resolve one, it's a game. But they'll make sure when you summon this, like they know they're like gonna get killed if this resolves.
Yeah.
So they normally do something to stop it. And then once they get rid of the Volcasaurus, then they're just like, don't fear the Volcasaurus. And then you just make a second one. Like next turn you make like another one, and then you kill them then. So yeah, because everyone has to stop this card when you summon it. So because it gets stopped so much, like it's just free to play. And it was extra deck space, so like might as well play it. And it did come up. 2 Gaias. This came up too. This was also last minute. And it's just because you can make it over so many things. We play 2 Volks. We play, the Magnaliger you need to put it over. I put it over like Zen Maya one time to.
I think it's when you summon Magnaliger back, like Red Layer's Grave Effect can also summon Magnaliger from your grave, but then it can't attack because it has no materials. So you can just put Gaia over it, and then Red Layer it just turns Magnaliger with Red Layer into a floater that's like just Gaia. Like it's
yeah,
really
so 2 came up a lot. It's really good because of Fogblade, because like if they Fogblade something and then you overlay it, and it doesn't, Fogblade doesn't die and it just like stays there, and it's just really good. That's how that works, right? Fogblade stays there. Yeah. Okay, good. I was like, that's how I was playing the entire tournament. So okay.
Yeah, when you overlay.
Yeah, Star Fortress, so you can kill them.
Yep.
Tyrus.
For rivalry.
For rivalry. This was actually really funny. I played against Pendulum. one round. I played against 3 pendulums actually, and one in Top Cut. And he summoned Ignister, Utopia Lightning, and Castella already, which are like Utopia Lightning and Ignister are really the only big threats in Harbinger.
Yeah.
But Castella is one of the things that out this. So he summoned all of these. So I actually just like made Tyrus like to like out one of his cards. Like it was either Tyrus or Adris. But then I realized that if I made Tyrus, he actually just like doesn't have anything to out this, because like the Castell, Ignister, and Utopia Lightning are just all gone. So it was just actually really funny. That was like he had to deal with an Aether Stormforth and the threat of Tyrus. It was like really funny.
Jesus.
Yeah. Adrius, Pop Floodgates. Yeah. No, this card comes up so much, it's unreal. Like this card is insane. It's basically like you summon it and they have to stop it, and then you just win the game, because whatever they were planning on stopping it, they were planning on using on a Monarch, and then you just win. And then if it resolves, you also just win. So yeah. M7 for the domain play, where you go turn 1. Make this 6, summon Karaz, pop a couple cards to draw, and then overlay, since you domain this to 6 for M7, and then you add back Aether to your hand, and you sent Prime. So or Pantheism, sorry. You sent Pantheism Prime, then you add 3 Stormforth. So you have Stormforth Aether set up. And then actually when I played against Jake Finney round 8, I did this turn 1 like with an insane opening. And then next turn, I activated this to add back Idea, and he was like, if he didn't do that, then he just like lost. So he like fog bladed this, and then I just still killed him on the turn, because like he got rid of one of the fog blades.
Nice.
Yeah, and then Harbinger, because it's the only rank 8 you would literally ever make. You don't need Felgrand in this deck or anything. I didn't make it today, but it's come up before. So yeah.
Felgrand doesn't do enough. Lancelot's mandatory, so it's too easy to play around.
Yes.
Harbinger, I never made Harbinger either. It's just like the only one that's good, I guess.
Side is 3 Veiler for the mirror. Yeah, it's really good. It's good because you stops them going second, and it's not like game over. But like if you are able to play and you Veiler them, then it's just like so backbreaking. It usually wins you the game. The 3rd Maxi against like BA and just like trapless decks that just want to go ham and stuff. 1 Majesty's Fiend. I side usually against BA. I usually don't side it against Cosmo actually, because they're never really threatened by their monsters, because you can get rid of them so easily with Stormforth and Erebus. So you just like worry about their traps, and so this never is relevant. I just sided against BA. I side out this actually for a Karaz, because you don't Karaz many BA stuff ever.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I never side out Karaz for anything else. Never side out Karaz except against BA for this. 3 Twin Twister and 3 MST. This seems like overkill, but you never side in all 6 at the same time. You have these for like the Demise deck. Like against Demise decks, I'll side in this, and I didn't want to side Full House because I was only scared of the Cosmo Demise deck. Every other Demise deck is just bad, and these cards do like really similar things. Like you just out their floodgates and you just win. And so, and like I said, Cosmo, like you don't need to worry about their monsters because you're playing Monarch and they're playing Cosmo. So you just like worry about their floodgates and their like Call of the Haunted type effects to like where they can overrun you before you can like really get a foothold. And then this just like does that. You can decide like just 3 Twin Twister, and then like also and then like however many MSTs you think is necessary. And then these actually come in against BA, because against the non-Phantom Knight versions, they side like floodgates, usually like anti-spell and like master restrict, at least one of them, if not like both of them. So you need to side at MST, but you never want to draw Twin Twister because they never have 2 more traps. So you don't want to like have to like discard a card just to pop 1 card. So this is relevant against decks that like have floodgates but don't have back row.
Okay.
And then yeah, I definitely think this was correct, and it yeah. 1 Darkone Raigeki. These are really bad. And our side deck was 13 cards.
Yeah. So I had one difference in my deck was I played Escalation of the Monarchs in the side over Darkhole, because we thought Escalation was good in the mirror but sucked in like every other. Okay, well it's good in the mirror but sucks in every other matchup. And I was like, well, I guess I'll just side it for the mirror, but like it isn't good. Like the card just isn't good.
Yeah, I told him I didn't want to play Escalation because if you're able to play, then you should win, and that was true.
Like it never mattered. Like I won every Monarch mirror without using Escalation ever. Like it never mattered.
I like the Monarch mirror. It's my favorite matchup, and if you're able to play, you should win with this deck. And Escalation doesn't help you play. It's only like once you play, it lets you do more stuff. So I didn't want that.
I discard it with Pantheism exclusively.
But these come in literally just for Darklaw. That's it. I mean, and I sided against the Fog King guy game 3 once I saw Fog King, but I still lost because I didn't draw it. But yeah. Yeah, these are just like, they're just like, I'd probably cut them for something
Safety
better.
nets, but yeah.
But the thing is, when you're building a side deck, you have to make sure never to overside for something. You only want to side in cards for whatever you can side out. So like these 13 cards, the last two were 2 Chaos Trapples. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, you could side like 3 Veiler, 3 Chaos Trapple, and 3 Mask Restrict for the mirror and have like 9, but you can't side out 9 cards. Like, realistically, the most we could ever side out is 5, so you should never have more than 5 cards to the mirror, because then you're oversiding and making your deck inconsistent. So like this, like these 13 covered every single matchup like single-handedly, so we were just like, what's the one thing we could just randomly lose to that we don't have a side for? And it was Dark Law. Like Mass Change Second, or just like some random, like in the early rounds playing heroes that's just here to have fun, and we just like can't beat it, so we just like have these in there. Yeah.
Any shoutouts?
Island Games.
Hey.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, is there anything you want to ask or anything?
Not specifically. You covered a lot.
Yeah, I talk a lot. Yeah.
It's all good though. Shoutouts are good though.
Yeah.
Besides, anybody who might have helped deck building or anything.
Nicky, his brother, Nicky Reardon.
No, Nicky doesn't believe in this deck at all. No,
right.
don't shout Nicky.
The best in the world.
Nicky, no, absolutely not. He's deck building is not his strong suit. That's the only thing good at deck building. Basically, I build the decks and I usually don't top. This time I happen to top.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yep.